Welcome to Ball Talk Deep, where we talk deep about ball. You got your host Andrade and Irwin back at it again, and today we continue our NBA Orlando team profile series covering the Nuggets, Celtics, Jazz, and Heat. Shout out to everyone who's been checking out the series. We're really thankful for all the former and new subscribers, and yeah, we just appreciate you guys checking out BTD. But Irwin, you ready to get started?
Let's get it.
All right. Today we start with the Denver Nuggets. What do you think of this team coming into Orlando, and what's your percentage, first of all, on what you would give them to win the whole championship this year?
The Nuggets, they have looked so far really good on the scrimmages. There have been some new emerging players and been some players that we already know about. To get that out of the way, I give them a 15% chance.
15?
The reason why is because, look, man, the Western Conference is very stacked. And, the top contenders in the East, they're no joke either. If they do manage to meet them in a potential final series. So it's not going to be easy. But the Nuggets are one of those teams that are not talked about enough outside of the LA teams in the Western Conference that have a legit chance to make some noise in the playoffs. But let's walk into a couple things.
Might be your time now.
There might be a time, man, that for a little short period of time, the Nuggets were not doing so well. I believe they were in their rebuilding phase.
Yeah.
And starting, 2 years ago when they went, I believe, 46-36, barely missed the playoffs. They started their rise. With last year, they won 54 games, and they got eliminated by the Trailblazers in 7 games in the Western Conference semifinals. I think the Nuggets, they're a very young squad in the sense that their core. Jokic, very young guy in the middle of his prime. The point guard, Jamal Murray, he's only 23 years old. And some other young guys as well that I do want to bring up is Michael Porter Jr. That guy is only 22 years old.
He's got real potential.
Bull, if you guys haven't already heard of his name already, he's been popping up, on the scrimmages. And he's already known as one of the top 3 GOATs already. But no, in all seriousness, with Bull, that guy can legitimately ball. The guy, he already looks pretty developed already. His 3-point shot, at least. The guy's only 20 years.
But I mean, come on, we're just watching scrimmage games.
I get you, but there's a lot to like. There's a lot to like about him. He's only 20 years old. That guy's 7'2". He has a 7'9" wingspan. Those are things that you cannot teach. And the guy, from what I'm looking like in the scrimmages, he's super wet from 3.
Yeah, people are saying he could be like the tall version of Kevin Durant or his
maybe. And his dad, Monté, he was able to shoot it as well from 3. So
he was ahead of his time.
So the apple didn't fall too far from that tree. But okay, to go into the Nuggets, I think their floor is gonna be similar as last year. They're going to get bounced from the second round. And their ceiling, I will see them, as much as I want to say that they're going to make it to the finals. I don't know. I just got a good feeling that I don't think they're going to be able to get out of the West. I see their ceiling as making an appearance in the Western Conference Finals. Couple key things with them.
Definitely see them making it.
Couple key things with them is the weight loss of Jokic, their best player. Even before the weight loss, Nikola Jokic is the best center in the NBA, in my opinion. The guy can do pretty much, everything. The guy can score. The guy can rebound.
He can pass.
He can definitely pass. He can pass.
I like him.
Yeah, he can pass, and the way how he's looked with the scrimmages, with the way how he's lost, is just making. It gives the opportunity for the Nuggets for their ceiling to improve. Couple of key things that I did notice looking into the Nuggets is regarding Jamal Murray. Jokic can't do it all, and if they want to advance to the conference finals, Murray's gotta show up. And what I noticed is in the second round against the Portland Trailblazers, when Murray has, and I got this from basketballreference.com, these stats.
Citing sources now.
When Murray has attempted at least 14 shots, and he's been efficient, the Nuggets have won. An example I do want to give is Game 4, where he scored 34 points on 10 on 20 shooting. Compared to Game 6 and Game 7, yes, where he scored 24 points and 17 points respectively. However, he only shot 35% in Game 6 and 22% on Game 7 on 20 and 18 attempts. Obviously, you're going to need a couple of things going on with Murray. He's got to be aggressive, with the shot attempts that he has going on, but he's got to be efficient. If he's aggressive and he's efficient, the Nuggets definitely have a chance to definitely not only win the game, but obviously advance. Another X factor that I do want to bring up as well is I want to go back to Michael Porter Jr. This guy, the only reason why he got picked 14th in the last pick of the lottery round a couple years back by the Nuggets is because he was injured coming out of Missouri. But dude, this guy can score. I'm like, he's 6'10". He's your prototype, forward that can do a little bit of everything. And I was seeing in the scrimmage versus, I know it's the Orlando Magic, but look, the Orlando Magic, they're better than the Nets and the Nuggets. Not the Nuggets, the Nets and the Wizards. And he scored 19 points in just 20 minutes. I'm like, not everybody can do that.
Nah.
He looked really comfortable out there. And obviously, what I do want to say with this is, depending on how much they can get out of Porter Jr., and depending, if Bol can give him something, off the bench, that's only going to help out to the Nuggets. And one final thing that I do want to bring up as well, they do have some shooters as well, in Barton and in Jerami Grant. I believe those guys have shot more than 39%, so that's definitely going to help them out as well, because at the end of the day, a 3-point shot is going to count more than a 2-point shot. And actually, one final point I do want to bring up, the Nuggets might not have their home court advantage, and I think out of all the NBA teams, they have the best home court advantage. The reason why is they play in Denver. The altitude there is a mile high. However, they do have stability in their head coach, Coach Mike Malone. He's been, with the team for 5 years. That's something that you can't sleep on, compared to the other teams. But there's a lot to like about the Nuggets, and they're definitely trending upwards. What do you think, Andrade?
All right, the Denver Nuggets, I give them a 70% chance of winning it all.
70?
Yeah.
Dude, are you sure to win it all?
To win it all. I mean, they're definitely above 50%, and I'm just seeing it as like, all right, chances to actually just make it to the finals, and if they were in the finals, to win it. I think they have the problem with the Denver Nuggets, in my opinion, is that they have a harder route getting to the finals as opposed to if they got to the finals and whoever they face in the East, winning it all. You get what I mean? Like, all right. I don't know if that sounded confusing, but in short, like, chance of winning in the finals than making it to the finals.
No, I get you, man. They gotta go through a tougher route, which is the Western Conference.
Because anyone in the East, bro, like I don't really see them having as much of a challenge as if they were to go against the Clippers or the Lakers.
I mean, there's some pretty good teams in the East as well.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I get you.
It's
more
them on the same level as those two teams.
I think what separates the West is that you look at from 4, 5, 6, 7, even 8. They all can. They're all really good teams.
Yeah. To an extent, I cap it off at like 6, maybe 5th. But all right, look, like I like their core. Nikola Jokic lost weight. His weight loss could be a surprise benefit for the squad this year. It increases his mobility, his stamina, like him running up and down the court on defense, on everything. Like just his increase in mobility could benefit the Nuggets as a team a lot, and that's what I'm very curious to see. Then we got Jamal Murray. He's a shooter, he's a sniper. But my biggest problem with Jamal Murray is that he's inconsistent, especially in the playoffs.
He's streaky.
And this kind of goes down to like the Denver Nuggets as a whole. I mean, there's a lot of teams like this right now. The regular season, there's a lot of teams that perform really well in the regular season, and then during the playoffs, it's like a whole different league. And especially in the past few years, we've learned that like it's almost like two different NBA leagues. You got your regular season standouts or rankings, and then you got your playoff rankings. And then especially with load management becoming a regular thing, and people and teams and organizations strategizing, being more patient, realizing that the playoffs is where it's at. Like now they just approach the regular season differently. So, and we've seen this in the past few years. So it's just like a lot of times I don't put myself. I don't put too much value in the regular season performance for most teams and players, because if you put a lot of effort in the regular season, you're gonna stand out. You know what I mean? And then the thing is, when it comes to the playoffs, every single team now brings their max effort, or should bring their max effort.
Yep, true.
And then everything switches up. So we'll see how that goes down, and I'm a little worried about that for the Nuggets and for a whole bunch of other teams that we'll talk about later. You got Joe Ingles. Oh,
no, Ingles plays for the Jazz.
Yo, you're right. Whoa, I'm tripping. All right, and
that's what happens when you don't have your coffee.
Yeah. And then Michael Porter Jr. He's got serious potential. I remember seeing one YouTuber say that he predicts that he'll win a scoring title at some point, possibly. The thing is, like, we're talking about this year, and he had his little moments during the regular season this year, but it's like, all right, we'll see. It's hard to, bring that up. Like, your potential isn't going to shine in their first year or second year. You know what I mean? So I don't know how much value or weight I will put on his performance to help push the team forward. You know what I mean?
The good thing is he doesn't have to do much because, look, man, the main stars of the team is Jokic and Murray.
Yeah, but you need more. Like, those two alone, I'm sorry, they're not going to push the Nuggets to championship.
Okay, but what's going to help out right now at the moment is that I guess the most you could expect out of Porter Jr. and the other young guys is
Porter's gonna have to score.
Okay, I get you, but the good thing is he's gonna be going against he's gonna be part of the rotation for the second unit, and the benefit of the second unit, you're gonna be going against guys that are lesser, not only in talent but probably similar guys as well. So the matchups, it's gonna be a lot more favorable for him, and it's gonna be less pressure for him, as opposed if you're putting Porter Jr. I'm like, yo, let's say Jokic gets injured. And I'm like, yo, Porter, go in. You're his replacement. You gotta handle all the scoring. I get you, but I'm giving you like an example. Like, they're not asking him to be the main primary,
No,
option.
I'm not saying he should be, but he's gonna have to contribute significantly if his team wants to go far.
But it's gonna be
have to step up, basically.
Yeah, but it's a second unit players. That's usually a good way to ease somebody in, and that's usually less pressure. And
who else are they gonna rely on? Barton, Millsap,
Grant,
they can go, but
I mean, hey, look, well, Barton,
they're not true scorers, as opposed to Michael Porter Jr. has shown that he can be a true scorer. And Murray, like you said, he's inconsistent, man. We saw it last year's playoffs. He had a couple of games, and then he would just disappear, and that's how they ended up losing. You know what I mean?
Well, a couple of things you can't sleep on Barton. Barton scoring 15 points per game.
Yeah. I'm not sleeping, but I'm saying he's not a true scorer.
No, he's not. I agree, but gotta see what happens with Porter. It should be interesting.
Yeah, it should be interesting.
And there's some things you just can't teach, man. The guy's 6'10", and the guy can handle the ball. There's not that many guys that are like that tall and can handle the ball like he does.
Yeah, no, and then all right, this is one potential benefit too, though, that this team could have over the other contenders, and it's that this team has longer chemistry together over the Lakers and Clippers.
True.
And this year could be the only year that they could benefit from that. Because this is the first year that this version of the Clippers and this version of the Lakers come together. And it's very rare for a team to change its core or star players and then immediately win the whole championship the following year. We've seen it with the 08 Celtics. And if you want, you can throw in the Raptors, the 19 Raptors in there too. But mostly I would just look at the 08 Celtics because they changed
completely,
yeah. The Raptors added Kawhi, Green, and then Gasol later on. But, at least their core, they still had the majority of the team that, had been going to the playoffs previously. Yeah. And Siakam stepped up too. So it's like, if there's a window of opportunity for the Nuggets right now to win it all, it could be this, because they have a build chemistry. Murray and Jokic have been together longer. The coach has been there for a while, and a good portion of the squad has been together for a while. So it's like, maybe if things go right, this could be the year, and that's why I'm giving them 70%. No,
and they also got some veterans in Millsap. I believe Millsap.
Veteran player.
Yeah, veteran players. He had some of his playoff battles.
He has experience.
Back in the East.
No, exactly.
Gary Harris, I believe he's been there for 6 years, so they do have some experience. It does help out, definitely.
Yeah, so we'll see where they go from here.